Okay, so we're gonna focus on this import of data from FBX. We have a CAD file right here. We're gonna try to define an area that we try to export. So we define a polyline. There you go. From here to there to there. I'm gonna close it right here. And we're gonna add maybe a little bit of arc on both sides. Right, that. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do next. If you look on the bottom, you see the coordinates we are stapling. We're gonna do a copy of the data from the original base file to a new CAD file, and right here we have the copied element. Again, you're gonna see the stapling coordinates. Coordinates. We're gonna try to define the coordinate system for the CAD file to be Texas 83 CF. We need this one in order to be able to export data to a like geospatial data file. So, that one being said, we're going to export this outline to a SDF file. We try to use this SDF file as a reference when you bring data in to make sure that it's in the right place. So there you go. Select manually, select the outline. Right click, go to options, check close polygon as a polygons, and notice the stapling coordinate system. Okay, right in Infraworks, right in here, we're gonna add the SDF file. Go on the drop down, SDF, go and find it. Temp file, there you go, demo. Now this SDF file, we're gonna classify it as a coverage, and I'm gonna give it a color. So pretty much coverages area here. We're gonna go to the geolocation to make sure that's stapling CF, and here in manual style we're gonna override it, and on the color we're gonna make it like red. Close and refresh. Again, make sure that it's draped. Close and refresh. Okay, as you see, it's in the right spot in here, and we can go forward and do the rest of the stuff. So right in here, you're gonna see there's a polyline. At properties here, we're gonna assign an elevation to make sure that it's above the elevation model. We're gonna change the view to a southwest isometric view so we can see what we do in a 3D environment. Right in here, we're gonna have the element. We're gonna do an extrusion to convert it to an object, to a 3D object. We're gonna extrude to 0.5. We're gonna do a 3D orbit now, and we're gonna see that it's an extruded object, and this is the object that we should be able to export. Okay, gonna return back to the top view, and from here we're gonna try to export this one from stapling as a 3D solid. Okay, we're gonna do here an FBX export. Again, place it in a temp file here. I'm gonna call it as dem test stapling. Right here, we're gonna say select an entity, right there. Make sure everything is checked for now. Click OK, and there we go. It's exported in a stapling coordinate system. So right in here, we're gonna go and attach a 3D model. Again, with our object. Right click configure. We're gonna go on and set it as buildings. And from here, we're gonna set Texas 83 CF tooltip, and you're gonna see like this is what it looks like. And as a check, you're gonna see like you have the red and we have the white, and you see like how off is the object. Okay, now we're gonna do the workflow of bringing the data actually in the right place. So pretty much what we're gonna do now, we're gonna define a circle, and I just place it anywhere in the space right now. Now select the circle, go to properties, and in properties look for the coordinates. You're gonna see like it's a center X and sector Y. Right here, we're gonna define a coordinate value that's pretty much an even number, so it's easy to remember. So define the X, define the Y. There you go. It doesn't matter where it's placed, just make sure it's placed outside of your project, you know, so it doesn't interfere with any other objects. Now we're gonna open a notepad, and in the notepad we're gonna paste the value for the x and the value for the y. These are the values we're gonna use as an offset in Infraworks. Paste right there, minimize the file. There you go. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna select the object, we're gonna do a copy with base point at the middle of the center of the circle. So copy the base point, it's center of the circle. There you go. And we're gonna paste it, you know, and we're gonna paste it at 0, 0. We try to make sure at the center of the circle, when it's moved to the 0, 0, the center of the circle is actually the 0, 0 coordinates. So this pretty much, you know, you're gonna export any object, so pretty much you're gonna move all the objects at 0, 0, but using the circle at 0, 0. Right now I'm gonna export the object to an FBX text tape plane at 0. Okay, click save, select objects again, make sure that you select the object, right click, click OK. Okay, now going back to Infraworks, we're gonna bring the object as a 3D model, select the object, click OK, configure, right in here, make sure that it's, you know, set to building or city furniture, and right in here we're gonna say stay plane, and you're gonna see if we apply close and refresh, you're gonna see the object looks a little bit better. Close and refresh. Okay, if I close and refresh right now, the object is gonna be placed at 0, 0. You're not gonna see it right here. So pretty much now we have to apply the offset, and we apply the offset, remember, from the notepad file. So right in there, we're gonna go and look for the notepad file, look for the two x and y, paste it in there, look for the y, paste it in there, and we're gonna do here close and refresh. Again, the object is placed in here. We're gonna get rid of the old object, remove, click yes, and you can see the object looks in the right place, and kind of, you know, we had the QC for us, you know, by using the red outline. I guess it can be improved on the tessellation, but it's pretty good, you know, what we have right now. So you can use this workflow for any objects, you know,